Today we're going to be making a tender, savory, and spicy chili chicken. We're going to make it exactly how a normal Chinese household would, something very simple and quick. You can use chicken with any seasonal veg and this dish would work. Let's start with ingredient prep. You're going to need three things. You're going to need garlic, ginger, and spring onions. Garlic lightly crushed, ginger sliced, and spring onions cut to about the size of your pinky. Next, we're going to make a marinating wine. And what I mean by that is we are going to take 1 part rice wine and 1 part water, and we're going to soak our scraps, ginger and spring onions. And if you have garlic peels, you can also put this in. This will be used to marinate the chicken, so it'll infuse all of that flavor into the chicken. We're going to prep some seasonal veg. It could be many things. I'm using a type of Chinese lettuce that is quite crispy, and I'm using some leftover sweet peppers. You can use anything that has a variety of color, a somewhat crunchy texture, and is not going to be overly watery or starchy. So things like lotus stems, or if you have some sweet peas, those things tend to work really well. Carrots are okay too, but I don't like carrots. Then we're going to prep some chicken thigh, boneless, skin on, skinless, up to you. You can also just use bits of bone-in chicken, but do not use breast. Please, do not use breast. Okay, we're going to hit the chicken with a little bit of marinade, just a little bit of salt and MSG. Don't go crazy. We're going to add that marinating wine that we did, about half a tablespoon. And then we're going to do about a teaspoon's worth of soy sauce and a heaping tablespoon of starch. Can be mung bean, potato, cornstarch, whatever it is that you have. As usual, we're going to move on to our bowl sauce. Start with a generous, and I mean generous, amount of white pepper and a generous amount of MSG. We're going to hit it with some sugar, probably about 2 tablespoons worth of sugar. I never measure, so I can never tell. You want this to be sufficiently sweet to be able to balance out the heat. We're going to hit it with about a teaspoon of vinegar and about 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. Adjust to taste because every single vinegar and every single soy sauce is different. We're going to hit it with a heaping tablespoon of starch. This is going to be our thickening agent, so when we do the stir fry, the sauce can cling onto the stir fry. We're going to also hit it with a little bit of that marinating wine that we had. And to finish, sesame seed oil. Okay, we are also going to be using chopped fermented chili. If you don't have paojiao, wherever you're from, what you can do is get a little bit of pickled jalapenos and chop it up. We're also going to go in with a single dried chili for a more complex heat profile. You can omit this if you don't have any readily available. All right, heat up some oil. You're going to use quite a bit because we are making a stir fry. Don't skimp on the oil. Put your chicken in, give it a little bit of a stir to make sure no pieces are sticking together, and then stop touching it. Flip it once and make sure you get some color on it. We're looking for a golden brown, not any sort of char. You want this to taste sweet and fresh still. Go in with the aromatics. That's the ginger, that's the garlic, that's the spring onions. You're going to cook it until you smell it, and trust me, you will smell it. It's going to smell great. After that, take your fermented peppers and stick it in. If you're using chopped jalapenos, what you won't get is the amazing smell and the amazing color you're going to see in the oil. But regardless, stir fry this until you really notice that pepper sort of get absorbed by the oils. And then you want to go in with some of your vegetables that take longer to cook. For me, that's my sweet peppers. Stir up your sauce, make sure there's no sediments. You have starch in there, so there's going to be sediments if you don't stir. And quickly cook that into the chicken. The starch will thicken up and sort of grab onto the vegetables. As soon as you see that happen, go in with all of your green veg that cooks very quickly. As soon as it wilts, out into a bowl or deep dish it goes. And with all Chinese cuisine, serve with a bowl of fries, and like all of my other stir fries, take that sauce as a template and replace veggies and protein to your liking. Enjoy.